Okay, let's try again. Servalan, maybe King's Engine, or what about Benkö Gambit? Actually, a bit of variety. Had reasonably good results in this line. I think get both rooks on A and B here, and B files. Now I'll start panicking. 98 to C7. If I go to B5, am I weakening anything? Takes, Queen takes, A4. Nothing's weak there. Okay. Exchange sack time. I could sack the exchange here with Rook B4. Yeah, I think I'm tempted to do that for knight takes B5. Trying to win a pawn. Undermine the centre. Or the dark square bishop. Hold up these pawns. Whoops, get rid of the pre-move. I'm going to hold up these two pawns, get some dark square play. I was thinking about this. Okay, it's not taking. So there might be almost Rook C4 sometimes takes. That knight's protecting C3 at the moment. Keep this going then. He's not accepting that exchange sack. Well, now I think there's Rook takes A4 almost. No, there isn't. So I can't move that away. Rook takes A4. The problem is his queen is still protected. Interesting. What about just knight B6 then? Trying to just undermine the centre. Try and win D5. It's weakened D5 a bit. So takes, D5 is a bit weakened. There's Queen A8 maybe on the diagonal if the knight moves. That'd be good for the king. So I'll go to unpin anyway for knight D5. Otherwise Rook D5, knight takes, Queen takes. So Queen A8. Trying to target that D5. Can't defend D5, I hope. Right. So I'm playing for C4 now. Or Rook moves and then knight B6. Not to lose D6. Okay, so I can pin that knight on C3, on F3. I play knight C3. Then where does it go? Well, it attacks the rook, which might be useful. So I think knight C3, work with tempo. And go back to E4. If Rook C1 was knight A2. D5, D4. No, knight G5 would be too strong. It's Queen B7 just in case I need F6. Possible. So Queen B7 stops entry point of Rook E7. I think I got D5 then. Knight G5. No. Okay. I attack this Rook and then Knight F6. Knight F6 to G4. Right, I've got to protect H7 anyway. So he's going to play Rook H4, he's decentralising a bit, so maybe Rook E8. And then or Queen E7 here. Okay, or Knight D5, the other knight to D5. Hitting that Rook. Protecting the knight. So here, what about rook e8 on rook h4? Knight g5, there'll be knight f4, double check. So I think I want to play rook e8, or maybe even queen b3 is out of the question. I just want to stick on that, keep on that diagonal and play rook e8, get the centre. Okay. So. Knight c3 here. Is that threatening anything? Like knight e2. I think knight c3 now. Mind you, these knights are getting pretty loose. Wondering about queen f4 or something. Might be knight e4 protecting them again. Knight g5, rook e1. Can't see anything else apart from knight c3. Because knight e2 is a good threat. I'm threatening actually queen f3. So if knight moves rook e1, if queen f4, that's maybe there's knight e2. No, okay, what about, no, there's no king g7. Queen e4. King g7, there's queen h6. But king g7, otherwise I'm threatening knight e2, so I like that idea. I'm going to do that. Knight e2 check here. It's wins the queen, doesn't it? Okay, okay, let's see. So yeah, there was a bit of play and he just blundered really. So hope you enjoyed it though. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.